My book has all the answers, guys, I promise. Haha. That's called a joke. What's not a joke is the title. There is actually a simple way to develop self-awareness. It's not easy or comfortable, but it is simple, technically. All you have to do is ask why. The key is to never settle for your first answer, or, sometimes even your second answer, or your third. It usually takes a lot of answers. I will give my own example of this process a couple of times to demonstrate what I actually mean. If I see somebody carrying a motorcycle helmet and think, that guy's probably an asshole, then I can ask why. Why did I think that about someone? I don't know. Well, I have an unfavorable view of motorcyclists in general. Why do I have that view? When driving, I see motorcyclists driving recklessly more often than not, thus resulting in me thinking they're more likely to be assholes. I was able to trace my judgment to an opinion, and then work from my opinion to a lived experience, which is the heart of my original judgment. What if it's a feeling instead of a thought? That is also pretty simple. If I play a competitive game and lose, and it makes me angry, then I can ask, why did that make me angry? Well, it hurts to lose, especially against real people. Why does it hurt to lose? It makes me feel like a failure. Why does losing in a game make me feel like a failure? Because that makes me feel like I'm not good enough. Why is that? Well, honestly, it's hard to pinpoint any exact reason, but I was a very independent child who didn't get or seek out much attention unless I felt I had done something noteworthy. As noteworthy as it can be for a child. It could be a flaw of mine, could be learned. I can't really remember. I do get the feeling it was probably learned though. But I honestly don't know. This is likely the core, or very close to the core. I could probably dig further, but that's a bit too personal for this purpose. With these two root causes found, I can then decide what I want to do with them. For my first example, I understand that I'm working off of an average I've observed myself. Not all motorcyclists are going to be assholes, so I just won't pretend I know for sure. I can then shift my thinking to, that guy might be an asshole, but I can't know that without interacting with him. For my second example, this allows me to recognize that I'm not really mad at the games or the players I lose against. I'm mad because it reminds me of something else. This is very crucial because it's not about preventing the anger. It's about knowing what the actual source is, so I don't lash out at people who haven't done anything to me. This trick of asking why isn't very comfortable, but self-awareness is not supposed to be comfortable all the time. If you want to be more self-aware, you have to look at yourself honestly, ask yourself difficult questions, and find real answers. There's no shortcut. I would also like to make a very clear distinction between self-awareness and self-deprecation. Insulting, criticizing, mocking, or downplaying yourself is nowhere near the same as actual self-awareness. Self-deprecation is criticizing yourself for something you did. Self-awareness is looking at what you did and figuring out why. In essence, self-awareness is a skill that has to be developed over time with intention. Whether you choose to explore bad habits first or try and figure out why you like certain things is mostly irrelevant, because the pattern of dissecting your own thoughts and feelings will carry over naturally the more you do it. If all you do is explore comfortable things, then eventually your brain will take this pattern and start applying it to things that aren't comfortable. And that is not only okay, it's necessary. To be self-aware is not to be peaceful, calm, collected, or even content with what you see. It's to look at yourself honestly and say, oh, that's who I am. Only after you've seen yourself fully can you decide if you think it's worth it to change. Oh, by the way, I learned this from a creative writing professor who was talking about character motivation. You want to find out what motivates your character? Repeatedly ask why until you reach the heart, the core, the truth of the matter. You know, once I tried it and found out how well it worked, I tried it on myself. After all, if it works for fictional people, why wouldn't it work for real people?